I pray to God I get this video loaded because it's been a day. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Pixie Palace. And today we are here for the weekly Oracle card reading for October 16th, 2022. And yes, I'm back on camera. Aren't you all excited? I know I am. Actually, I am glad to be back on cam a little bit after not being on this reading for a couple of weeks. And it was always due to technical difficulties. One day I wasn't feeling up 100%, so I wasn't going to be on camera. Just a whole flux of different things. And as we go into this week, there's a lot of different energies, very, very intense energies happening in the world as well as our individual lives. And the lovely airplanes have been just wonderful today. A lot of noise, a lot of, just everything at the Pixie Palace. But will we expect any less? No, we would not. But anyway, I digress. A lot of us have been dealing with technical difficulties lately, whether it's with our phones, our computers, Wi-Fi, what have you. And it's been really actually kind of funny for me because as I was trying to turn on this video recorder, I went to open the camera where I make the video and it kept telling me invalid path destination, invalid path, and I couldn't get on to record. And of course I was getting a little frustrated, but I kept my cool and figured it out. And for some weird reason, one of my settings I never touch was totally different. So all kinds of weird things like that. The other night my heater popped, and I have a little space heater because it gets drafty in here with the wood flooring. It was cold at night. Thing I never have any problem with. All of a sudden I hear this big pop. It turned off. The thing unplugged by itself, mind you, and now it's working fine. It's just been really weird. So if you're having difficulties like that, know you're not alone. Just have a little more patience this week. That is one message I am getting. Patience is definitely a virtue sometimes, especially in those cases. We all are so dependent on these things that we don't really think about it until technology decides not to work and it sucks. So definitely exercise some patience. Also, that may be a sign for you to unplug a little bit, get out in nature if you're able to, do something for yourself that refreshes your soul. And it's always good to unplug and reconnect with nature or with our family or animals, what have you, just to get away from being so dependent on technology itself. Technology is a great thing, but when we become so dependent on it and we don't do anything else, that's when it can be an issue. So that's one message. So as we go into this reading, I hope you are all doing well. I want to thank you for all your love and support you've been showing me continually as this channel grows. It is wonderful to have you all part of the Pixie Dust community. And you have to mind me, I'm a little rusty since I haven't been on camera for a little while. And shortly after I create this video, I will be uploading a silly little video that's, it's not anything but just to make people laugh. And I might start doing a mini series called Freaky Friday, just weird random things that happen at the Pixie Palace or just my weird state of mind at that time, because yes, I do have a weird side, and if you know me at all, you know I do weird very well. So some might flop, some might take off, some you might like, some you don't. That's okay. I'm not going insane. It's just something fun to do and to show you that I am human as well. So with all of that being said, let's get into the reading and see what the universe has to say. And we are back for the weekly card reading of October 16th, 2022. And as usual, I got all my crystals, my candle, propping up the deck of the Oracle of the Fairies by Karen K. And I'm really excited once again to see how all the cards will play out this week. And of course, as we all know, there's been a lot going on in the world, no signs of stopping, and there's been a lot going on in our individual lives. So as we see the messages that come through this week, we can see what might be in store for us and what kind of direction we may want to take. So let's get into it. Okay, these are the cards that came out for this week. It's really interesting because as I was drawing these cards, I felt a variety of different energies and emotions within them. It'll be really interesting to see how the messages play out. So first of all, we have look in a book, then we have hope, and the last but not least is music. Okay, so here we go. Here we have look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight you seek. Now, some of these cards we can take at face value, and some there's a deeper meaning to it. This actually has both. In some situations, someone will need assistance in either building something, creating something. Maybe you're studying up for a class or even starting a new business and kind of need to learn some new strategies or look for some new tools in order to be successful. So this could mean looking in a book, literally, or Googling certain videos to figure out how to do something. Or you might notice something online like a program or even a website that will help figure out the answers. Or at least it will lead you into the direction that you need to go in. And that's really important. It's good to always learn new things, always expand on yourself. Because when we stop learning, we stop growing. And that's the last thing we want. We always want to grow. We always want to expand. And we always want the change, the positive change, so we can go out in the world and be better versions. So looking in a book is very important to do, especially when you're confused about something or starting on a new journey. Now, this could also mean looking deeper into a situation. There are times there might be miscommunications or misunderstandings or what have you, and you take something literally as you see it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in your mind. You are being urged to be a little more open-minded, to really see if that's what the situation is. Sometimes we'll see something and think it's a certain way when really it's not. It's a totally different scenario, or it might only be part of a story that you see. You might not know the whole situation. So basically, it's not time to snap to conclusions without doing the research. Sometimes it can be putting yourself into someone else's shoes and looking at it through their eyes, seeing maybe what their perspective is. You may not still agree with it. It may not be what you would do, but it will give you some more understanding and more insight as to why they did what they did or where they're coming from. Or it could also be a certain activity that you think you have no interest in, don't even want to know about it, don't even want to learn about it because it doesn't interest you. You're also being urged to be open-minded here as well. Give something a chance. Maybe a friend wants to take you fishing or wants to do something you normally wouldn't do. Go ahead and do it. Even if you don't like it, at least you know for sure, okay, that's something that's not my thing. But you'll know. It won't be like, oh, well, I don't want to do that, and you don't even give it a try. Sometimes it's really funny how we limit ourselves because we think a certain activity or a certain person or a certain situation is how we think it. And we may have totally the wrong perspective about it. But we don't get out of our own way to really see what it's all about, see the whole picture, or try that new activity. And it doesn't mean we're always wrong. It just, we may not know the whole situation. So you're being definitely urged to do this and really just give things a chance. Now, there is intuition as always. Sometimes we have to trust our intuition regardless. So in that, check in with your intuition. See if it's really your head or your heart telling you whatever it's telling you. Because when we really start paying attention to that, that's when we'll start making better decisions and not denying ourselves of good experiences. So look in a book, give it a chance this week and see. And after you do this, you might be very pleasantly surprised at the results. It may introduce a new perspective to you. It may actually cultivate a relationship or even save it. It could even be exploring something new and finding a love that you never thought you would. So it's really a profound message. So definitely take a chance this week. Look into it. Look a little deeper than what you're actually seeing in front of you. The second card is hope. Hope is always there, even if we can't see it. Optimistic expectations can help change a negative situation into a positive one. And boy, do I know this. Hope is a very powerful energy. It's very important to have in our lives as we go through the ups and downs of our journey. And hope is something that keeps you going. It actually keeps you positive without being toxic or fake. I've talked about this before, but there's always that toxic positivity, even love bombing or just being so optimistic that you don't weigh the pros and cons of things. It's always good to be realistic in that sense. It's always good to consider both sides of a situation. Sometimes we do go through a really tough time, and it's really hard to have hope because it seems like it will never end or the outcome will be negative. Hope is very powerful because it keeps you going even when you're in a tough situation. When we have hope, even the size of a mustard seed, it can change everything around. Because when we're not looking at things through a glass half empty perspective, it actually attracts more positive outcomes. It's almost like that law of attraction in a way, because when we hold on to hope, even if we're feeling stagnant or upset or angry or what have you, if we're always looking for something to get better, regardless of how it looks in our physical reality, it will attract that positive energy. It will attract a better outcome, or it could even be just to keep you strong as you're going through that dark time. Have gratitude for the good things that are going on in your life. When we do the small little steps like that, hope is prevalent in our lives and it will bring the good back in. And last but not least, music. Now, we've had this card a few times. If you've been with my channel for a while, you'll recognize this one. But it is very important. So this card says, listen carefully, for there may be a message in the music you hear. Music can lift your soul, rekindle memories, and charm fairies to your door. Don't worry, I won't show up at your door. Music is a very important part of many of our lives. Music can really inspire us in our work, in our creativity, as well as interacting with others. I actually play a game, it's a blockchain game on Hive that I used to be on, and I still love the game and the community there. It's Rising Star, and it's all centered around independent musicians. It's really, really awesome. So for me, music is even more prevalent. I know someone special that does music, so it's so powerful and so intertwined in my life. And I'm sure I'm not alone. There are a lot of people out there who really love music, whether they create it, listen to it, or what have you. But this is a little more important this week because you may hear a song or feel something as you listen to a piece of music, and it'll bring back a particular memory that maybe you need to deal with, that you pushed aside. Sometimes it's not always easy to deal with that memory, but the universe is telling you that you need to work on whatever caused that memory, get to the root of it and do that shadow work that's so much needed. It can also be a reminder of a beautiful memory that maybe you want to reconnect with that person, or even if you don't, you know that's not the best thing to do. Celebrate that part of your life because it was a beautiful time and it maybe helped you grow into the person you are now. So, and there also might be a song you'll hear that is a message from someone who is passed, someone dear to you. Sometimes they'll send messages that way, just in very subtle ways, but it might be a song that you both had, or certain lyrics or certain lyrics that stand out to you. Don't dismiss it. That is a sign from your loved ones. And I've had that happen quite a few times when my husband passed several years ago. He spoke to me in different ways, and it was really, really beautiful. And every once in a blue moon, he'll come through a song, and I'll smile, or he'll come through a funny lyrics or something, and like, oh yeah, I remember that. Good one. It's actually pretty cool that you can do that. And I know one day I'll be doing that, so I'll be bothering everybody through their songs. Can't get rid of me. But in all seriousness, music is really a beautiful thing. It's something that just can really move mountains and really motivate your soul to do beautiful things. And also be mindful, as always, what type of music you listen to. There is some music out there, especially in mainstream media, that is orchestrated to lower your vibration, to lower your frequency. So be very mindful of lyrics. It doesn't have to be all frou-frou, Sandra Dee stuff, obviously. But just pay attention to how you feel. If you hear a song or some music and you don't feel as good, or maybe even physically you feel fatigued, and you notice it's with that song, turn it off or turn on something better. A lot of us use binaural beats. A lot of those are very nice and they're very healing. But I listen to regular music too. I listen to a lot of independent music, and I'm just mindful of the lyrics and mindful of how it makes me feel. I used to never really notice that, but as I got older, I noticed that some songs really just uplifted me and I felt great afterwards, and others not so much. I would feel kind of almost angry or just, after certain songs. So I knew once I started noticing that, okay, I need to move on. So I'd delete that song or just not, just push it aside. It's all about self-care. And that's another way to protect your energy and protect your boundaries. And it's something a lot of us don't think of. And sometimes we forget. We like a certain song, it sounds good, and it's just not the best for us. So there you go. It's music, alive and well. So there you have it. The beautiful messages that came through this week. I think there's a lot we can take from it. I resonate with quite a few of them, but especially with music, I really resonate with this week. Take notice of any situations that you might not have the full story on. Always hold on to hope no matter what you're going through, and listen to the music that will uplift your soul and maybe have a message for you. So if you like these kind of readings, please click like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, but more importantly, it actually gets the messages out there to those who need them. And of course, always keep an eye on my community tab. We always have things on there like inspirational posts, sharing of other YouTubers' channels, and just a whole bunch of fun. And as always, thank you so much for your support. I love you all, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. Keep going for your dreams, and always know you are enough. Until the next time, to know yourself is to know your truth. Namaste.